Hi guys, my name is Pig from Team Exile 5 and today I'm going to be talking to you about the P25W notebook. The P25W may look quite familiar to some of you as it is the upgraded version of the old P2542G. However, the P25W here is a big upgrade in terms of both performance and hardware. I've actually been using this notebook for a couple of months now, so I feel comfortable talking to you guys about my experiences with it and how I've found it. But first of all, let's list out the specs. It runs Windows 8 operating system, an Intel i7-4700MQ processor, 15.6-inch Full HD LCD screen, 16 gigabytes of RAM, an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 770M 3GB, 256 gigabyte SSD and a 1TB hard drive, a Blu-ray rewritable drive, 4.1 sound, and an 8-cell battery. So you can see that these are some pretty impressive specs, especially when you take into account that these are selling at MSY stores around Australia for $20.99. It's actually amazing the amount of hardware they pack in for such an affordable package. I was lucky enough at the start of this month to head to the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore tournament to compete. I brought my P25W along with me to that event. The first thing I noticed is that with its relatively light weight of 2.8 kilograms, including the battery, it wasn't a pain to lug around. And more importantly, its small size meant that it did just slide right into my carry-on luggage with no problems. At the actual Intel Extreme Masters event itself, I was knocked out quite early, unfortunately. But my team and myself stayed at the event and we were producing a lot of videos and a lot of photo content the entire event. We were actually using the P25W as our media PC during that, so there was constant video editing, taking photos and editing and rendering all of that. One of the great things about this device is the 256 gig SSD allowed us to chuck all of our programs and storage on there. So not only was the computer starting up in a matter of seconds, but all of our programs such as Adobe Premiere, Photoshop and Lightroom were all actually running very quickly, starting up and closing very quickly. And so even though we were constantly setting up and working on the go, it worked really, really well. Over the course of the event, we actually produced over 10 videos, including editing, uploading, rendering, as well as over 100 gigabyte of photos. During all that stress, the P25W didn't sweat at all. One of my favorite features about the P25W is its graphics capability. It packs a GTX 770M card, which delivers some spectacular visuals. Personally, I love when I'm not playing StarCraft on low graphics settings. I love to play FPS games like the recent Call of Duty games. While playing these, I've actually discovered some really interesting ways to play games, relax and enjoy yourself. I'm pretty sure that if anyone out there is half as lazy as me, we're going to be seeing a lot more of this in the future. One of my favorite features about the notebook is its sound system. The speakers actually run as a panel just above the keyboard all the way along the length of the device. You've actually got your own woofer in there, which gives you a little bit of that throaty rumble, which gives you some of that gaming immersion. Combined with just the fact that these are some of the loudest speakers you'll find on a notebook, it just makes for a great gaming experience. One of the good features about the screen is that it actually has a matte finish. What that allows is you can actually get a really wide viewing angle, and unlike some screens, you can still see exactly what's going on that screen. It's very glare resistant and just makes a really good viewing experience, especially if someone's looking over your shoulder at your work. When it comes to appearance, I absolutely love the showy yellow casing on this model. But it also has a really nice sleek look on the inside with the metal trimming around it. And inside you've got the brushed black metal, which means I don't end up leaving greasy fingerprints everywhere. One of the few negative features that I've found with this notebook is that if you are running some high stress programs for a very long time, it can heat up. Then again, pretty much every notebook out there does if you run those really stressful programs. The real trick with this one is just to make sure that you don't block the heat sinks at the back. There have been few occasions I've accidentally been using it on my bed, the blanket's completely covered up these heat slots, and I end up with an overheating laptop. Other than that, it actually runs relatively well when it comes to heat. So in conclusion, guys, I'm going to give the P25W 9.5 out of 10 stars. It's just been really, really good to work with. The SSD, the hardware in it, it just runs so fast and great. Now, some of you might think I'm a little bit biased though, as I am sponsored by these guys, so go out there, take a look at some of the more technical reviews. Personally, I've seen a few out there. One from PC and Tech Authority gave it 5 out of 6 stars. Another one from PC Powerplay magazine gave it 10 out of 10. Gigabyte notebooks have come a really long way in the last couple of years. They're in a field filled with big names and they're only a small player, but they've shown that they can produce quality hardware. So the next time you're looking for a notebook, give an eye to Gigabyte notebooks, especially if you're not looking for something with all the bells and whistles, things like multi-backlit keyboards. Then I'd personally recommend something like the P25W. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesomeness. And leave your comment below with what sort of game you like to play naked or in your underwear.